Hello, welcome to our show, Crooked Doctors. We're going live today. Today is Friday, October 7th, 2011. This is show 16, and the theme of this show is demonstrating to the viewing audience that I am not a terrorist, and I am sick to death of being stalked through life by my medical school that's running around behind my back in an organized criminal conspiracy claiming that she's so angry, she's going to get a bomb to blow up a school. I've had it. I have totally had it. This is the evidence that shows I am not a terrorist. I'm going to play this for you. I got this as recently as this morning. My medical school falsely labels students as terrorists so they can be stalked through life and so they can abuse the Patriot Act. I am not the only person this has happened to. There was another student at my school named Javon Paddyar. In order to illegally expel him from medical school, the crooked doctors at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine of Yeshiva University ousted him from his research lab, claiming he was going to steal pathogens to infect the general public. He was not going to do that, okay? He's not angry at the general public. He's angry at an Orthodox Jewish school that doesn't want gay men in their student population. He was a closeted gay man when he came out of the closet and achieved some national prominence because his research work was very good. He was a recipient of a Howard Hughes scholarship. And I don't know if the viewing audience is aware, but in order to get that, I think 1 out of 50. Be impressed. Are you impressed?
I'm impressed.
By the way, I should introduce my guest. This is Mr. Keith LeBeau. Thank you very much. This is what, the second, third, fourth time in your life that you're being a great big hero?
No, I don't look at myself as a hero.
I would be dead today, but for the heroic efforts of gentlemen like Mr. Keith LeBeau, the very good people at the Nassau County Civic Association, law enforcement who we spoke to, Mr. LeBeau and I spoke to law enforcement Tuesday of this week, and they asked us not to reveal their identities because they do undercover work. But if it wasn't for the great big heroes here in Manhattan, who were willing to listen to me and look at the evidence when the FBI wouldn't, when local police wouldn't, when a whole lot of other people wouldn't. Oh, and by the way, Colonel Riley, you're a great big hero too. There are heroic men and women who literally saved my life. And what we're going to talk about today is that today, right now, even as I speak, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is engaged in the crime of obstruction of justice. When I was illegally incarcerated in Rikers Island, I got Mr. Jeff Cox, he's a security liaison officer at the Pentagon, on the phone. Now, perhaps the viewing audience is unaware, but all conversations at Rikers Island Prison here in New York are tape recorded. And that means that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office has a tape-recorded conversation, and they've had this tape-recorded conversation for months in their hands, where I've got Mr. Jeff Cox from the Pentagon on the phone with me saying, Lydia, you never made terroristic threats. And he says literally, quote, no terroristic threats, end quote. Now, why is this important? Because I'm going to show you that Jersey City Medical Center is dangerous to others. I'm going to give you the Reader Digest version. I am putting all this evidence on a blog site. And I'm going to try to do this just to get you through. I mean, we've got a lot to go through today. I'm looking at the countdown clock. But Mr. Keith LeBeau was kind enough to accompany me in the last 2 or 3 weeks to Jersey City Medical Center. Mr. LeBeau, would I have been jumped at that hospital if not for your presence?
Well, I think it would have been worse than that.
What do you think they would have done?
I think they would have probably grabbed you and physically assaulted you before throwing you into what they call the quiet room.
What, the locked psychiatric ward, where they could falsely characterize me as a deranged terrorist when I'm not, like they've done before?
Well, see, there's the ward, and then there's the quiet room. The quiet room is a soundproof room where they can go in and basically do whatever they want to you and nobody will hear it.
Wow, now I'm really scared. Do you believe that when we went down to Jersey City Medical Center in the last 2 or 3 weeks, had I gone in there alone, would I have been jumped?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. We went down to the municipal court. This is on Summit Avenue, where Judge Rodriguez, that's Nesle A. Rodriguez, presides. And as you know, she's been running around behind my back for 3 years now, telling people that I'm mailing her threatening letters when that's a lie. I discovered most recently with Mr. LeBeau that the Jersey City Medical Center had documents in its hands to show that I was telling the truth and my medical school was lying about my past. And we're going to take a look at those documents that show that John Scarfone, remember that name because John Scarfone is dangerous to others. He is Associate General Counsel at Yeshiva University. He went into federal court in 2006. He lied about me. And then I was continually told that I had to go to John Scarfone and ask him for the educational records that show that he's a liar. Now, let me ask you something. If you're the attorney who's being paid to go into court and lie about me, and I'm continually told that you're the guy I have to talk to, and then you decide to run down to the Manhattan District Attorney's office and claim that you're annoyed, you feel annoyed that I have to ask you for my educational records that show that you're a liar, that is the defense of entrapment. Now, does that sound like a setup to you or what?
Oh, definitely. That was definitely a setup.
Right. So John Scarfone goes down to the Manhattan District Attorney's office and presses false criminal charges against me for aggravated harassment because he's annoyed that his innocent victim has to go to him and has been told to go to him repeatedly by the chairman of a department, by a senator, by a federal judge, by all kinds of, by people on my promotions committee. Go to John Scarfone. Have you lost your minds? Okay, John Scarfone is the attorney who went into federal court in 2006 and lied about my past. And as I explained to law enforcement, I'm picking out the most easiest to understand examples. In 2006, John Scarfone went into federal court, lied about me, and the educational records, these are my records, that show that he's a liar is in the possession of John Scarfone. So when I have to call the school and all the complaining witnesses against me and say, please give me my records to show that you're all a pack of liars, they dash down to the Manhattan District Attorney's office to press false criminal charges against me. And guess what? Assistant District Attorney Alex Spiro obstructed justice with Jess Berkowitz. Jess Berkowitz was my first public defender. He is a graduate of Yeshiva University's law school, and he donates money to the school. Do you see the setup here?
I see more starting off with a conflict of interest.
Thank you. Thank you. I have the general... Are you educated in the law, sir?
No.
Okay, so you're just an average member of the general public. He knows this is a conflict of interest, but everybody else involved doesn't. So what I really want to get to today, because I want to play this tape recording from Jeff Cox, he's the security liaison officer. You know what? Let's play it now. Okay? I'm going to go low tech, but you know that I'm going to put this up on the internet and have everybody listen to it. And before we get to listening to Jeff Cox protect my life by telling the truth, I want to say thank you, sir.
See, now, before you start, what I find scary is the fact that we have these public officials that we elected doing this sort of stuff, and there's nobody to really watch the watchers.
Oh, you mean like the FBI? Listen, I went to the FBI. This is the amount of evidence that was entered into court. Part of what's going on here is I've got Asaf Rosenheim. Do you see these stickers? Okay, you see this police report? Mm-hmm. These are photographs that show, this is evidence, photographs that show I'm telling the truth. We'll get to those in later shows. This is a police report that I made to protect myself against Asaf Rosenheim, dishonest, self-identified Israeli, ex-military, who confessed on the witness stand in front of two judges, Judge Fast and Judge Falcone, in my landlord-tenant case, that he cooperated with Yael Jacobs and an attorney named Milton L. Myers to commit immigration fraud and lying to Homeland Security. Homeland Security has known about this since 2004. Homeland Security does not protect my life. The only thing I get from Homeland Security is shut up already, or we're going to prosecute you for naming names. I'm naming names. And does this say evidence here? Is that
Defendant's exhibit.
Yep. These are...
Defendant's exhibit.
These were already entered into a court, and we're going to get to this later. I'm spreading this around to protect my life. So we're going to get to this in just a minute. Well, actually, we're probably going to get to this evidence in a later episode. We're going to devote an entire episode next week to explaining how Asaf Rosenheim admitted on the witness stand to committing immigration fraud and lying to Homeland Security. And as I said to leaders in the Spanish community, if a Spanish person had confessed on the witness stand to committing immigration fraud and lying to Homeland Security, that person would be deported so fast it would make your head spin. But when a self-identified Israeli does it, nothing happens except that I'm the one that gets jumped, I'm the one that gets threatened, I'm the one that gets brutalized. Do we all appreciate the double standard in immigration here? I'm pointing out that at my medical school, the Albert Einstein College of Medicine of Yeshiva University, there's a double standard in education, and here's another double standard in immigration, okay? So I went to City Councilman Rodriguez, and I asked him, I need to go to the United Nations because I'm being denied equal protection of the law, and so is with the double standard in education, so is every American. And I went to Congress with the details of the Bob Jones University case, and we're going to get to that. There are large institutional questions here. I'm going to be setting up a petition. I want to speak to the United Nations. There's a book called Walt and Mishner are two professors from Harvard and from the University of Chicago, and they wrote a book, U.S. Foreign Policy and the Israeli Lobby, where they discuss, and it's very simple, you can read this in there's a position paper, white paper, that's like 40 pages. They built their work on the work of Israeli scholars, just so you folks know. They were derided as anti-Semitic and self-hating Jews. They're not. And because I tell the truth, too, I've been derided as anti-Semitic. I'm not. And Reverend Sharpton, the Reverend Al Sharpton, was gracious enough to defend me when I was falsely accused of being anti-Semitic, saying, hey, when I criticize the Jewish community, I'm called an anti-Semite when I'm not. Throwing mud doesn't change the evidence. Okay, so I asked City Councilman Rodriguez, I want to speak to the United Nations. I want my case brought to the High Commissioner of Human Rights at the United Nations. Article 7, I'm being denied equal protection of the law, and so is every American. Because I'm writing the sequel to Walton Missinger's book. I'm writing the book, U.S. Domestic Policy in the Israeli Lobby, and I'm showing how American domestic policy for the last 50, 60 years does not serve American interests. So we're going to get to that. So these are the big picture, these are the big institutional questions here. But what I want to do is show that I'm not a terrorist. So, and I actually have that false accusations of being a terrorist is the new McCarthyism. I want open public hearings in Congress. So we're going to put this down there, and I'll get to that later. Let's listen to Jeff Cox tell the truth.
Now, before you start that, as a 9/11 responder, I wouldn't be around her if she was a terrorist. There's no way. Because as part of something that I'm dealing with, I had to be screened by Department of Homeland Security.
No kidding.
And I came up clean.
No kidding. Oh, by the way, we're going to put up, we should say this, I was kind enough to be invited to the 9/11 memorial. And is the 9/11 memorial a designated terror target?
It's believed to be a terror target, yes, because they're going to try and hit the same place twice.
So if I was such a big terrorist, would they be letting me into the 9/11 memorial?
No, because you would have been on a watch list, and it's possible, but they still wouldn't let you in because they would have sent your picture to the memorial people and said, watch out for this person.
Okay, So I visited the memorial. I have photographs. The 9/11 folks that I'm trying to help, which, Cindy L was a guest on my show. She's trying to provide support to the 9/11 first.
Cindy L was here?
Stop. She was, and Cindy L's we did
A
a
good
show.
friend of mine.
Yeah. And can you explain to the viewing audience that I got a phone call from you, dropped everything, and said, "Oh my gosh, Cindy L's, trying to help the first responders. We just dropped everything and gave her time." And we're going to be putting up that video.
That actually happened very quickly. It all happened within a matter of like a few minutes. I happened to be with Cindy at the time at the New York Police and Fire Games, and I was telling her about Lydia's show, and I said, hey, why don't we give it a shot and see if you can go on the show?
Well, what you told me is that Cindy L asked for help, and one of the help that she needed was...
she was trying to get her message out further, and I said, you know what, let me give it a shot. Let me call Lydia and let me see what Lydia says. And it just went bang right there. It dropped right into her lap.
Well, I guess what you said was, Cindy Ells is trying to help the first responders. Could you please have her on your show? Yes. And she asked us, I made her, I put her, she's going up on YouTube, and there's some other support that she asked for. She has an open invitation. She can come anytime she wants.
She's aware of the open invitation.
And so anyway, let's get to the meat and potatoes of my show here, because here we've got, let me play this. This is low tech, but I'm going to go a little higher tech. This just happened this morning.
Detective Intel, Jeff Cox.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
it's Lidya Radin. Thank you so much for picking up the phone. And before you...
What do you want, Lydia?
Sir, the tape recorded conversation where you confirmed that I never made terroristic threats, the city government refuses to provide that to me. So could you confirm one last time so I don't have to do this that I never made terroristic threats, please?
Sure.
Can you just say I never made terroristic threats?
We're being recorded now?
I'm doing this from my records, yes. So,
I'm just asking that we're recording now, right?
yes.
Okay, yes. Lidya Radin never made terrorist threats whenever I spoke with her at the Pentagon.
It's Lidya Radin, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Lidya Radin.
Just say the sentence one more time.
All right, look, I'm done. Bye.
Okay, so let me explain this a little bit. First of all, Mr. Cox was kind enough to confirm that when I spoke with him at the Pentagon on September 23rd, 2008, that I never made terroristic threats. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Cox. Mr. Cox also knows that we're being tape recorded, and he was willing to tell the truth now for at least a second time that I know of on a tape recorded conversation. And Mr. Cox is a little annoyed. He should be, because I got him on the phone at Rikers Island on a tape recorded conversation. Law enforcement here in Manhattan, that would be the district attorney's office, that's District Attorney Vance's office, Cyrus Vance Jr. It's his district attorney's office that has control of this tape recorded conversation. And from Rikers Island, I called the Pentagon. I called Mr. Cox, and I got him on a tape recorded conversation from prison. I'm calling the gentleman from prison, and he says, quote, "No terroristic threats," end quote. Okay, that tape recorded conversation should have been provided to my attorneys immediately, and it should be provided to Debbie Simon, who I thought was going to help me by prosecuting the criminals, but Debbie Simon doesn't want to do that. Debbie Simon wants to help criminals. So as soon as I got off the phone, or as soon as possible when I got off the phone, this is happening a few months ago, when I got off the phone, I called Debbie Simon and I told her, "Ms. Simon, I was fortunate enough to get Jeff Cox, a security liaison officer at the Pentagon, on the phone to confirm, quote, no terroristic threats, end quote. I never made terroristic threats. And Debbie Simon freaked out.
Now, where... Excuse me. Where is she from?
Debbie Simon is a prosecutor at the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office. She could have put a stop to the harm towards me. And I'm going to show you 3 documents from Jersey City Medical Center. And I want to give a thank you to Bryna Keisner. Bryna Keisner, you met Miss Keisner.
I didn't like her too much.
I know. She rolled her eyes and tried to portray me as a lunatic. I got that part. But Bryna Keisner, nevertheless, helped me get my hard copies of my medical records. She has been securing my medical records in her office in a locked drawer, and I provided this information to Debbie Simon. Now, for at least 2.5 years, Debbie Simon at the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office promised that she would do an investigation. And as a first step, she promised to get my medical records from Jersey City Medical Center. She lied. She never got my records. And I want to say thank you to Bryna Keisner, who's medical director at Jersey City Medical Center, who has the hard copies of my medical records. They're in a locked drawer in her office, and she has been securing them, waiting for law enforcement to prosecute the criminals. But law enforcement helps the criminals. And today I have obstruction of justice. So let's look at the documents from Jersey City Medical Center where I'm called a terrorist and I'm not. Okay, let's look at that. This thing is like, I'm going to go through. I don't actually have to do this just for the viewing audience, because we promised law enforcement, and I have friends who are prosecutors and judges in other states. And we also talked to law enforcement, did we not, earlier this week? Okay. We talked to law enforcement. We showed them the documents. We got about 20, very quickly. We showed them the documents from Jersey City Medical Center that have the Jersey City Medical Center sticker on them that show there was an investigation by the municipal prosecutor in Jersey City. We went to the municipal after a few days after we got into Jersey City Medical Center to get the evidence. Then the 2 of us went down to the municipal court. And we went to the 2nd floor, and this is on Summit Avenue, and I spoke to a prosecutor there, did I not?
Yes, you did.
And I explained to him that if Jersey City Medical Center has my medical records that show the John Scarfone line that's got the sticker there, either Jersey City Medical Center violated my rights to privacy under FERPA, Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act, by obtaining my records without my knowledge or consent, or there had to be a subpoena. And if I know my medical school, there was a subpoena.
Or there was another alternative, somebody just handed them over.
Then they wouldn't, that's still all illegal. You can't just...
I understand it's illegal, but I'm saying there's still that alternative that somebody just said, here, do with her with that.
This is, if my educational records are part of my medical records at Jersey City Medical Center, and by the way, these are not bona fide real medical records. This is wholesale fraud. If they're there, that means the doctors at Jersey City Medical Center, that's Dr. Vladimir Jelnov, that's Michael S. Stewart, that's Stacy Dix-Kubiowski, that's Dr. LaMonica. All these doctors, I worked my way up through Vice President Jim Martin, all the way up to President of Jersey City Medical Center, Joseph Scott. And all these people, until just a few weeks ago, like 2-3 weeks ago, when we went down and got all these people conspired to keep my educational records away from me so that I could be harmed. Because if these records were given to me in February of 2009, I never could have been prosecuted later that year in July of 2009. Okay, so they're part of an organized criminal conspiracy that deliberately kept my educational records away from me, and they got them through the municipal prosecutor, and that's obstruction of justice. And I want to see my file. So we went down so that I could see my file at the city prosecutor's office. I talked to the prosecutor. You were there. I explained to him, and 3 steps behind us were the cops. And the cops escorted us from the building because Judge Rodriguez doesn't want us there, right? Because the last thing Judge Rodriguez wants is Lidya Radin sitting in her courtroom, and this is what I do, saying, hello, my name is Lidya Radin, And you really want to get a change of venue, and you want to change judges, because that judge who's about to show up, Judge Rodriguez, she lied about me. Here's some of the evidence that you can look. Judge Rodriguez doesn't want me in her courtroom telling people the truth so she can do it to somebody else. That's a public courtroom. I have every right to be there. That is a public building. Nobody can ban me from being there, and they're just making up excuses, because that courthouse has ample information to know that I'm telling the truth. Stacy Dix-Kubiowski is a liar. And I'm going to give you the short version. Okay, so now we're going low tech, but I'll go higher tech on my blog. Jersey City Medical Center is dangerous to others. The screening document, and this is the Reader's Digest condensed version. This is the 3 documents that you need, Mr. Prosecutor, to make your case. Okay? The screening document that Stacy Dix-Kubiowski created on September 12, 2008 is fraud. On September 12, 2008, I showed Stacy Dix-Kubiowski. These are the bills from Sallie Mae. These are the postmarked envelopes. These are the documents that I got through Freedom of Information Act requests, because there's an attorney in Albany who was helping me. This is how my medical school lied, not only in federal student loan fraud, but to get a TAP grant, a state grant, I was not eligible to receive. To get a Pell Grant, I was not eligible to receive. And what did Stacy Dix-Kubiowski do? She created a false screening document by deliberately keeping that evidence, that information off the screening document that she created on September 12, 2008. If she was neutral, objective, if she wasn't part of this criminal conspiracy that almost murdered me, she would have said, "Oh my goodness, Lydia, it looks like you got fraud here and your medical school is lying about you. We should go to the prosecutor and talk to him about this." Instead, she created a false screening document. And the stupidity that Nino Falcone came up with on September 12, 2008, I was handing out flyers telling my community that Judge Rodriguez is dangerous to others. Here's how she refused to enforce a no-contact order. Here's all the crimes that Judge Rodriguez has engaged against me to hurt me. And what do I get? Miss Radin is exhibiting bizarre behavior. She's handing out flyers. Oh my God. Did you know handing out flyers to inform your community about the criminals in your neighborhood, like an alert that our city councilman Jackson would put out, is considered bizarre behavior? Have you ever heard of anything so ridiculous?
That's just hogwash.
Have you ever heard, I could do stand-up comedy on this, except that they physically assaulted me. They held me as a prisoner. These people almost murdered me, and they haven't stopped, okay? So, this is the minimum amount of information that you need to know. Jersey City Medical Center is dangerous to others. On September 12, 2008, Stacy Dix-Kubiowski created a screening document that's wholesale fraud. She knew exactly what she was doing. She did it deliberately, knowingly, intentionally, maliciously, with criminal intent. Stacy Dix-Kubiowski created a false record that was used to orchestrate a physical assault on me that almost left me dead. She knew what she was doing. On September 25, 2008, after I won against Judge Nino Falcone and my landlords in court, there was another screening document that was created. That screening document is wholesale fraud. That's the screening document from September 25th, 2008. And the screening document from Tuesday, September 30th, 2008, that sent Jersey City Medical Center workers to my house at 4 o'clock in the afternoon has been deliberately omitted to make a false record. So Jersey City Medical Center is dangerous to others. It's not just a matter of false records. This is the soft war, okay? This is the rumor mongering. This is the false records that are created by false statements of material fact and deliberate omissions. And ultimately, these people physically assaulted me. They knew that I was recovering from spinal injuries. I could have gotten better, except they made it worse. So, this is the minimum. Today, I cannot get my hands on the screening document from September 30th, 2004, because that was deliberately omitted. And that screening document, this screening document right here, this screening document shows that Judge Nino Falcone, who came from North Bergen, he's a municipal court judge in North Bergen, he was hired by my landlords to lie, called up a hospital and lied about me. He had lost against me in court on this date, and then vindictively he called the hospital and lied about me on this date. Nino Falcone threatened me, and he acted on his threats. And here's the Reader's Digest condensed version. This is the minimum amount that you need to know that Judge Falcone threatened me and acted on his threats. And yes, I'm going low tech here for a minute. Let me see if I can get this. This is the case against Judge Falcone. Now, on my blog site, I'm going to start writing in more detailed timelines so everybody can see what happened. But I'm just going to go through the Reader's Digest condensed version of this is the case against Nino Falcone. Then you're going to confirm that when I went into that courthouse, so far I've been illegally banned. They can't do this. The municipal court in Summit Avenue, that's a public building. The courts are public. I have every right to be there. Judge Rodriguez cannot ban me. That's illegal. So far, Debbie Simon has banned me from the building on Newark Avenue. Again, the courts are there. The 5th floor law library is there. I have to file papers in this place. Of course, Debbie Simon doesn't want me at the courthouse on Newark Avenue because this is where she practices law, and she doesn't want anyone to know that she's a liar. I've already brought this up to the freeholders. In fact, freeholder O'Day has already said she can't do that. Debbie Simon is running amok. These people have run amok, and if it wasn't for heroes like Keith LeBeau and Jeff Cox, I'd probably be dead today, because Asaf Rosenheim does not want to do 5 years jail time. Neither does Milton L. Myers, or Yael Jacobs does not want to do 5 years jail time, which is the sentence for immigration fraud. And I've already spoken to leaders in the Spanish community in Jersey City. If this was a Spanish person who had confessed to immigration fraud on the witness stand in front of 2 judges, including Nino Falcone, they would be charged and deported by now. But when a self-identified Israeli ex-military does it, nothing happens. You got to be kidding me with this. Oh, and by the way, you know why it's important? Not only is he ex-military, so he knows better. He's not an average civilian. He's also, Asaf Rosenheim is under the care of a psychiatrist. He takes psychotropic drugs. This man is extremely sociopathic. The last time I saw him, he was ripping a medicine cabinet out of a wall. He was violent. In 2004, he lied in court, and my landlords asked me to testify against him. He committed immigration fraud. He's confessed to immigration fraud. I mean, I'm going to go down the list about this guy, this character. This guy is, Asaf Rosenheim is dangerous to others. So let's do the Reader's Digest condensed version of this is the case against Judge Falcone. In December of 2007, Nino Falcone mailed me a threatening letter. Okay, I did not mail Nino Falcone a threatening letter. Nino Falcone, municipal court judge Nino Falcone, mailed me, I'm trying to get this so everyone can see it, mailed me a threatening letter. December 2007, Nino Falcone mailed me a threatening letter. I did not mail Judge Rodriguez a threatening letter. Does everybody see how, can everybody appreciate how the propaganda works? This is a soft war, okay? A judge mailed me a threatening letter. I did not mail a judge a threatening letter. Do you understand that? Am I being clear about that?
I believe me, I understand perfectly. It's just psychotic that somebody would turn around, send you a threatening letter, and then claim you did it.
Well, what happened is Nino Falcone mailed me a threatening letter, and then in order to create false records, this is how the propaganda works. Judge Rodriguez, and you'll see on my medical records, quote, as per Stacy, patient has been mailing Judge Rodriguez threatening letters, end quote. That's not true. I never mailed a judge a threatening letter. A judge mailed me a threatening letter. Do you see how it works? Okay. And why is this important? Oh, it happened and we should just forget about it. No. These false documents, this soft war was used against me when I was fighting my way out of Rikers Island, and Elmhurst Hospital even said, oh, she even threatened a judge. I never threatened a judge, okay? I never threatened a judge. That's a very serious accusation. So if Elmhurst Hospital wants acting in an organized criminal conspiracy with a psychiatrist at Rikers Island wants to say that, I want to know the identity of that person. Oh, well, actually, I'm going to out that doctor.
If I'm right, wasn't Elmhurst Hospital where the lady died in the the triage area of the emergency room?
Well, I don't
I
know.
believe it is. And if that's true, then they're not, their reputation is no good.
Oh, they have no reputation. Elmhurst Hospital, please, give me a break.
I think it is, because there was a woman a couple of years ago. She was diabetic, and it's on video. You could probably Google it, where she's sitting there. She told them, I'm sick. There's something wrong. She sat there until she literally died. She laid on the floor, dead, and one of the security guards came in, walked over her, and then walked back out, and it was just a mess.
Elmhurst Hospital has false records. I'm being stalked by my medical school. At Rikers Island, there's a psychiatrist who the only thing they do at Rikers Island, the psychiatrist, is just repeat the lies. I caught Rikers Island falsifying medical records to charge. That's the crime of health plan fraud. I mean, it's unbelievable. The doctors, the psychiatrists at Rikers Island Mental Health created false records, and then they had the temerity to bill for it, the gall to bill for it. Okay? Because 3 steps behind me is John Scarfone and my medical school lying. And here's the big picture. Here's the root of the problem. I wasn't expelled from medical school because there's something wrong with me. I happen to be a lovely person. I was expelled from medical school because dishonest attorney Martin Bachstein couldn't bully me into signing a contract releasing the school from liability in my case. So in retaliation, they've been stalking me through life, telling lie after lie after lie, and they wrote an executive summary. That's a pack of lies. And the dishonest psychiatrist who does that is Jimmy David, and he did the same thing in the Marlene Abramova case. But we want to get back to Judge Falcone, okay? Judge Falcone mailed me a threatening letter in December of 2007. And I have police reports. January 18th, 2008, I went into criminal court and got a no-contact order against Mr. Falcone, against Judge Falcone and my landlords, okay? In criminal court, I got a written no-contact order. About 10 days later, Judge Falcone violated that contact order, sending me a notice of eviction because he's harassing me with frivolous evictions. Now, I discussed this with my then attorney. He's like, Lydia, the guy sent you a notice of an eviction proceeding about 10 days later. That isn't even a cooling off period. But what that means is that the eviction was illegal from the very first step because it was set in violation of a no contact order. When a criminal court judge says there's no contact, that doesn't mean that Judge Falcone spits in his face and says, I don't care, I'm just going to proceed as if nothing happened. And I don't hear the bogus excuses of, well, how does a landlord enforce his rights? A landlord enforces his rights by not threatening his tenant and acting on those threats. Okay, so December 2007, Judge Falcone mails me a threatening letter. I get a no contact order against him on January 18th, 2008. He violates that no contact order on or about January 28th, 2008. And then there's a whole bunch of stupidity that leads us to early September of 2008, where there's a wrong ruling in landlord-tenant court against me. But it doesn't matter because in late September of 2008, my landlord cashed my rent payments, thereby accepting me as a legal tenant and waiving all previous actions against me. In other words, there was no eviction. Where is this evidence? The evidence of these cash payments are lots of places. One place where this evidence is Manhattan Criminal Court. In Manhattan Criminal Court, there's the photocopied payments and the receipts that show that there was no eviction against me, okay, as part of post-judgment relief. Once my landlord cashes my checks, then he accepts me as a legal tenant and waives all action against me. From the first step to the last step, there was no eviction. And Nino Falcone and my landlords knew that on September 25th, 2008, there was no eviction. I had gone in front of Judge Fast, and he gave me a waiver that was good till October 2nd, 2008. and they knew that I could get more. I had only presented Judge Fast on September 25th, 2008, with one example of how my landlords had cashed my checks. But I had more, and they knew I had more. So Nino Falcone, angry and frustrated, on September 30th, 2008, as reflected in my medical records from Jersey City Medical Center, and these are not bona fide medical records, this is fraud, on September 30th, 2008, as reflected in records at Jersey City Medical Center on October 1st, 2008, Judge Fast lied to a hospital. He acted on his threats. In December of 2007, Judge Falcone threatened me in writing, and about 9 or 10 months later, he acted on his threats by lying to a hospital. Okay? And we're going to look at that right now. By the way, how scared were you because I was pretty frightened when we had the police. The police jumped my mother's boyfriend who was trying to help me, so I got an iron worker to come help me. And go ahead, you tell the story.
I wasn't scared. I was just waiting for police officer Litchfield, a punk.
Okay, let's not attack the person. Let's just stick to the facts, okay?
I was waiting for him to hit you because he was pretty close to hitting you in the face. And, I just think that, any guy, cop or not, if you think it's okay to hit a woman, there's something wrong with you.
Well, I think that...
because he was ready to strike.
The part that scared me was the part where they said, oh, he's an iron worker. We better call more guys. So the part that scares me is, oh, they call more guys. You're not going to stand for this. You're going to call your friends. Mm-hmm. You're going to fight back. Now I'm going to have a brawl, okay? And I can't have that. There's no violence here, okay? So that's why we went to law enforcement and we asked for help. And we were promised that there would be phone calls to Mayor Healy, there would be phone calls to Prosecutor Ed DeFazio, who should suck it up already and start prosecuting Jersey City Medical Center for the crime of false imprisonment, among other crimes, like premeditated attempted murder and fraud. He doesn't know what to prosecute for? Have you ever met a prosecutor who doesn't know what to prosecute for? So let's look at...
Well, if I met one of them, they would not be a prosecutor for very long after that.
So the part that, tell them, because I don't want this just coming from me, did you hear them say we better call more guys?
I heard them talking, and they were like, we need other people here.
Were they prepared to call more police to intimidate us?
I know you didn't. I saw you, when you were interacting with Litchfield, 4 more cops came outside.
Great. That's great. Okay. Are you sure about this?
Yeah, because... You said I remember hearing you when one of them when somebody passed by, you were like, "Oh, there goes the judge."
There was one of the judges that I knew. There's a number of judges who have the evidence in their hands, and I recognized one of them, and I explained things to him too. But the bottom line is, when we went to when I go to the courthouse on Summit Avenue. It's illegal to bar me from a public courtroom, and this is being done to serve Judge Rodriguez's interests. And the government in Jersey City doesn't want people to know Stacy Dix-Kubiowski is a liar. She knew exactly what she was doing. There was ample opportunity for her to contact me to get the facts. She refused. And I got to tell you something. I think Stacy, this is an operating theory I have. I think Stacy Dix-Kubiowski is married to a cop.
Now, that's a possibility. Now, here's...
Wait, because we only have a few minutes left. I want to get to my medical.
Now, when...
So, wait. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at my medical records that show... These are my medical records from Jersey City Medical Center. Okay? This is... wait, let me increase the view here. I just want you to get the overall gestalt. Okay, this is my medical records from Jersey City Medical Center, and I'm going to talk you through this a little bit. I'm going to increase the magnification here.
Now,
wait. Let me just read this. Hold on, just 1 second. Right here. Threatened to blow up a school in Washington. Okay, that's an outright lie. Okay. I never threatened to blow up a school in Washington, and this is not a rumor, okay? Wait. Let me just get this. On Monday, September 22nd, 2008, I talked to my friend Colonel Riley at Fort Knox. By the way, do you think anybody just waltzes on Fort Knox?
No way.
Thank you. Okay, that's all you need to say about that. Tuesday, September 23rd, 2008, I had to go to Washington. I actually stopped at the Pentagon and said, I'm sick to death of being stalked through life, having people saying I'm a terrorist when I'm not. Because I've been hearing this since 1998. When I was in a marketing meeting at Columbia University campus, and I had to suffer through people saying, she's so angry, she's going to get a bomb and blow up the school. I've had it. I have had it with that. I've had it with Marlene Abramova, her mother. Her mother's very sick psychiatrist who run around behind my back telling people that I'm going to go to Hamas to get a bomb to blow up. That's ridiculous, okay? I did not threaten to blow up a school in Washington. I come back to Jersey City Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. For days, I've got phone calls to Stacy Dix-Kubiowski. She doesn't bother returning phone calls, but she can run around behind my back, rumor mongering about how, and here's the lie, threatened to blow up a school in Washington. And when is she saying this? When is Jersey City's Medical Center saying all this? On October 1st, 2008. On Wednesday, October 1st, 2008, that's when they're telling these lies so they can hold me as a prisoner at Jersey City Medical Center. Okay?
Now read after the first highlighted thing what it says.
Oh yeah. let me take the view down a little bit. Okay. And here's the part where Nino Falcone calls up and lies. So here's the part. Just 1 second. Threatened to blow up a school in Washington. That's a lie. Okay? She's being evicted today. This is another lie. This is from the screening document. Let's increase this.
See, now also read what it says right after Washington. The patient was interviewed 4 times for terroristic threats. Now, here's where you see where you could see that they lied and then changed it. It says, no charges were filed. No charges were filed. Last week, the patient went to the Pentagon.
Okay.
How can you go to the Pentagon after making terroristic threats?
Well, even better. This whole thing is shading of the truth, false statement, material fact, deliberate omissions. This whole thing is fraud, and I've had it. Okay. And the bottom line here is the patient was interviewed. First of all, I'm not their patient. I'm their victim. Okay. I am their victim. Judge Rodriguez could have put a stop to this in June of 2008, long before I was physically assaulted and almost murdered at Jersey City Medical Center. In June of 2008, I explained to Judge Rodriguez, I'm applying for a public defender. On this application, I have to disclose financial information. So I'm explaining to Judge Rodriguez and the Public Defender's Office, my medical school has committed fraud. They're falsifying records, they're stalking me through life, my financial records are falsified. And I'm explaining to them federal student loan fraud, fraud in the state tuition assistance program, fraud in the Pell Grant program. They knew, okay? I asked Judge Rodriguez twice in July of 2008 to give me a written no contact order. She refused, putting my life and my family's life at risk. Finally, when my landlords violated her no contact order in August of 2008, she refused to enforce those no contact orders. And when I outed her on September 12, 2008, she got Stacy Dix-Kubiowski to interview me and lie. Stacy Dix-Kubiowski had a requirement by Jersey law to give me a copy of that screening document on September 12, 2008, because you can't force somebody to, what they do is they force interaction between you and a mental health worker, and then that mental health worker runs around behind your back falsifying records and rumor mongering and getting you killed. Okay, in state law, that Stacy Dix-Kubiowski had a requirement by law to give me a copy of that. And had I had a copy of that in my hands on September 12, 2008, I could have put a stop to the harm to me. This woman is dangerous to others. Let's go back and look at that screening document, okay? She's being evicted today. There was no eviction, okay? This is a document that was created on October 1st, 2008. Okay? And if we go back to this, She's being evicted today. There was no eviction for October 1st, 2008. At the very least, days and almost a week before, I stood up in front of Judge Fast. Here's the rent payments that my landlords are cashing, and at the very least, published on the blog, is a waiver where Judge Fast acknowledges there is no eviction. He ordered me to put that waiver into my landlord's hands. So at least by Friday, September 26, 2008, my landlord's attorneys and my landlords knew that there was no eviction, and they lied. On Tuesday, September 30th, 2008, Nino Falcone called up Jersey City Medical Center. He lied to Stacy Dix-Kubiaski, and that screening document has been deliberately omitted to create a false record. Okay? Now, the bottom line is, I am not Stacy Dix-Kubiaski's patient. She's a psychopath. I want criminal charges against this woman. I want orders of protection. I've had it with these people. I had phone calls into Stacy Dix-Kubiaski. She didn't bother returning them, but she can run around behind my back claiming I'm I'm not her patient. What the hell is she going to treat me for?
No, when we were...
What a sick freak. For other people lie is not a problem that originates with Lidya Radin. Let me just go back to this. Okay?
Now, when we were at when we were at the judge's place of work, the courthouse, when those cops were there, I couldn't believe the cop was saying, "Oh well, the next time you come, the only time you can come is when you have business here at the court."
I have
you
business
have business at the court. I'm standing there. I'm flabbergasted that this guy would actually come up with this lie.
Because the bottom line is Judge Rodriguez, this is a public courtroom, it's a public courthouse. Judge Rodriguez, this is why she lied on February of 2009 to try to have me to commit the crime of false imprisonment again, because I sat quietly in the back of her courtroom, which is a public courtroom, and I said to people, "Hello, my name is Lidya Radin," shake my hand, very instant. This judge is a liar. Here's how she lied. And I respectfully suggest that you get another judge. And Stacy Dix-Kubiaski is a psychopath. She's a liar. She's an extreme sociopath. I want orders of protection and criminal prosecution. And Stacy Dix-Kubiaski doesn't want people to know. Jersey City Medical Center doesn't want you to know. They're dangerous, dangerous, dangerous to others. They almost murdered me. Let's go back to my medical records. Okay, so she's being evicted today. That's a lie. Everybody involved knew there was no eviction. That's a lie. And you know what? Here's another medical record I want to look at. Just one second. Oh, we'll get to this one. We'll have to come back to this one. Oops. I want to get to the one where this one right here. Before we run out of time, I want to get to this. Okay. This is Stacy Dix-Kubiaski deliberately omitted a screening document made on Stacy Dix-Kubiaski falsified the screening document she made on September 12th. She deliberately omitted all evidence of federal student loan fraud that I showed her, and she deliberately concealed these documents so that she could lie. And here's what. Oh, this is really stupid. I'm going to read part of this. Here's what they say about me showing up in Washington. You know what? I should just read this.
That'd be a good thing.
Yeah, let me just read it. As we still have some time here. Here's the screening document. I'm just going to read it. This is from October 2nd, 2008. We'll start here. Filed. Those judges accusing them of discrimination. The judges are discriminating against me in federal court in New York, and corruption with the judicial system. Location. Writer was able to speak with Stacy Dix-Kubiaski. Stacy stated she was with the patient on September 12th. Unbelievable. There was a request for evaluation. When patient was at the municipal court. Patient was displaying bizarre behavior, handing out flyers with statements about Judge Rodriguez. Oh my God, it's bizarre behavior to make statements about a judge. The first public defender assigned to patient's tenant-landlord case asked to be removed as her attorney because she was stalking him, continued to call his office daily, and would wait outside of the court for him. That's a lie. My first public defender was Kevin Pervin. I fired him because he refused to help. He claimed he did not know how to get Judge Rodriguez's no contact order in a written form so I could show the police. Okay, I was not stalking my first public defender throughout the county in a menacing manner such that he has to be removed from my case. That's an outright lie. I have talked to Kevin Pervin about this. I have showed him my medical records, and he admitted that that was a lie. It's like, I only know you from Jersey City. You're not stalking me. This is a lie. I fired him. I went back in front of Judge Rodriguez on July 30th, 2008 with another public defender, Jonathan Goodman, and for a second time, Judge Rodriguez refused to give me a written no contact order so that I could protect myself against my landlords and municipal court judge Nino Falcone. So then we've got, here we go. This is unbelievable. Last Tuesday, Stacy received a call from the Pentagon stating patient was there demanding a job from one of the top officials. When they attempted to redirect her, she became agitated. Patient was escorted off the property. Wait a second. Hold on. Patient was escorted off the property. Wait, just 1 second, sorry. Let me close this. This is like the most unbelievable. Hold on. Let me just close this in the background. Okay, we're running out of time, so we're trying to do this as quickly as I possibly can. I accidentally hit a wrong button. So here we go. Now we're back. Thank you for your patience. Patient was escorted off the property to the parking lot. She stated, quote, "What do I have to do to get a little attention? Blow up a school?" I mean, they're actually writing this crap. What do I have to do to get attention? Blow up a school? Now, this is written in quotes. So I want to know who they're quoting, and let me clue you in here. Marlene Abramova, who was a part of my litigation group. I'm going to start talking fast because I only have a minute or two left in the show. Marlene Abramova and her mother see a psychiatrist. That psychiatrist is a profoundly disturbed woman who apparently has been running around telling people I'm her patient when I'm not. And that's a violation of New York state law. So unless you have an authorization from me, I am not your patient. I have had it with the dishonest psychiatrists associated with my medical school.